Hey everyone, just got finished watching The Dog's Jaws. Uh, and while I had very low expectations, I still was sort of disappointed. It didn't really follow the book at all, which I expected based on the trailers, based on what I saw from it. I kind of figured it wasn't going to follow the book. I didn't realize it was going to basically butcher the book. It felt like actually. I'm going to do a spoiler warning because I don't think I can talk about this without spoiling the book and the movie. So basically, the book follows two people, Higgs and Bangley, um, and Higgs' dog Jasper, and the end of the world. A flu wiped out 99.9% of the population. After the flu, there was a blood disease. But in addition to both of those, there was global warming, which killed fish, wildlife, and all sorts of things. Lots of bad things happening. Uh, so in the movie, they barely talk about the flu. It comes up maybe three times. There's no blood disease. There's no mention of global warming, which is kind of suspicious. It's kind of weird they would omit all the global warming. Um, a big, a point, a kind of a big part of the book, kind of, was a scene where we learn about possible Arabs coming. We don't know if they're a threat or what. Um, Eventually, we learn they aren't a threat, and that was completely omitted. That was basically kind of the end of the book, the closing end of the book. We learn their true intentions, or kind of what was up with that. But yes, it does not follow the book at all, and it kind of speed runs through the book. I don't know. It felt very rushed. It felt like the whole thing was very compressed. There were scenes they just completely omitted or changed. Um, at some point, um, Higgs ends up meeting two ranchers, Pops and Seema, and they completely changed and really omitted how they were introduced. They changed Pop's occupation. I'm pretty sure he was a cop. Here he's just a rancher. And because they omitted the global warming subplot, they changed the whole reason. Basically, Seema ends up going with Higgs. In the book, Pops basically says, "The ranch is dying. No more water. Take my daughter." Here, the ranch is attacked by like 50 Mad Max looking people, and it's kind of just generic action nonsense. And all three of them end up together as opposed to just Higgs and Seema. In the book, unfortunately, the dog Jasper does die, but it's in a very peaceful way. Basically, well, mostly peaceful, and it's he dies when him and Higgs are sleeping. Here, he dies during an attack for some reason. He's basically attacked with a machete uh, when the airstrip where the three of them are staying. I'm not a big proponent of killing any really pets in movies, but because it was in the book, I think they should have done it. I don't think they needed to change it up in the way he died. I think that was unnecessary. Uh, but there's a whole long list of things that it changed, and I could do a whole 30-minute rant about what they changed or omitted. So, in lieu of that, what is the movie if we just separate it from the book? If we just separate it from the book, it is just sort of generic end of the world Mad Max action, kind of even zombie action. Um, there's not much fighting in the book, and here it seems like in certain scenes when there was like they were being attacked by maybe five people, they were attacked by like 20 or more. So it seems like for Hollywood's sake, they just sort of ramped up the action, and that was completely defeats the purpose of the book. So it just felt like generic Hollywood end of the world action. I still don't get the omitting the global warming subplot. That was a really important part. I also don't think the movie was that long. For how much it admitted, it felt like a really short movie that they could have added more. I think this is one of those books that would have benefited from being a series. or maybe directed by someone who can still make movies, because Ridley Scott, whatever he had to make some of the best movies ever, he's lost. And he is old. So maybe it's just time for him to retire. I don't know. I'm not one to tell anyone to stop working, though. But this movie just wasn't it. Just sort of generic end of the world action, whereas the book is not that at all. I gave it a 5 out of 10. That may be being generous. If you like the book, don't watch the movie. You'll be disappointed. But if you just want, you know, a popcorn action flick, check this one out. Uh, yeah, Dog Stars. I didn't think it would be great, and it wasn't. So I'd say it was probably the most disappointing movie of the year. But it's hard for me to be disappointed when going into it, I didn't have much expectation. I kind of figured based on everything I'd been seeing, it wasn't going to be great. Then the reviews came out saying it wasn't great, so I can't really be disappointed. It is what we thought it was, and that's a 5 out of 10 generic action flick. All right, guys, until next time.